We do something called Meet Your Legislators here on the program. Try and meet some of the newer members. Our next guest is Representative He Dressler, who represents Richardton, North Dakota, and District 36. Representative Dressler, welcome to the program.
Hey, great to be here.
How are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Born and raised in Richardton on a ranch out there. Went to NDSU for 4 years, and then came back out west and lived in the in the area the whole time. And just freshman year here, so getting my feet wet and enjoying the process so far. What
motivated you to say you wanted to be a member of the State House of Representatives?
You know, it definitely started with my school board experience. I served 7 years on the Richardton-Taylor School Board, and I saw Measure 4 coming and really got interested in property taxes and wanted to be part of the process to ensure that schools are funded properly to continue public education.
What do you think so far? Just give us a little sense of your experience in your freshman session of the legislature.
Sure. It's been a wild ride. Lots of bills, lots of information coming our way. But it's been great. I'm thankful for leadership and the assignments that I've gotten. I'm on Finance and Tax Committee for my A committee, and then B committee is Transportation, and both of them have just been quite a fun experience.
This segment of Meeting Our Legislators is sponsored by the North Dakota Petroleum Council and the Lignite Energy Council. And so we always talk a little bit about energy issues. Obviously from Richardton, one energy giant out there is the Red Trail Energy Project, the ethanol project, which has newly been purchased by Gevo, one of the big players in ethanol in the country. Talk a little bit about your views on the energy space and what you hear from folks in your part of North Dakota.
Sure. Well, that sure is an exciting opportunity for Richardton. It's brought a lot of good people, good jobs, and a lot of tax revenue in for our local district. So we're quite proud of Red Trail and all the things that have gone on out there, and looking forward to the proposed expansion. So I think it's going to be great for our community. And
some folks might not know this, but Red Trail Energy was on the tip of the spear related to sequestration and applying for and getting a well for CO2, which obviously is a hot topic right now. But the CO2 viewed as a commodity helps ethanol plants get into the sustainable aviation fuel, open up more markets there. It helps the coal industry live to fight another day to take some of that CO2 off their stacks. And in addition to that, enhanced oil recovery. Talk a little bit about that new technology and your view about how that's all unfolding.
I think we're definitely living in an exciting time here. Anytime we're looking at adding new technology to help our energy resource. So I think the way that Red Trail is doing it and capturing everything locally and putting it in the ground right there is just an unbeatable model. And looking forward to how it may expand and help out with enhanced oil recovery as well. One
piece of legislation I wanted to ask you about, there was a resolution related to enhanced oil recovery. I'm terrible on the bill numbers, but I think it was 3016. You're probably getting, the only way you keep them straight is by bill number, but some sort of a resolution that you opposed. Talk a little bit about why your opposition there on the resolution related to supporting enhanced oil recovery.
Sure. No, I definitely do support enhanced oil recovery. I'm excited for that next stage. Really, my concern comes in the private property rights portion of it, and I do have some concerns that if eminent domain is used in certain circumstances, it may not be the best. So that was really my only hesitation on that particular resolution. But overall, I think this is the future. I think it's what's coming and what is really going to bring our state into the next era here, to where we can continue to provide property tax relief and potentially income tax relief and all the other things that our taxpayers are looking for.
Yeah, you're wise to connect those dots. I don't know how many people do, but obviously to have the debate about taking property taxes to zero over the next number of years doesn't happen without enhanced oil recovery, doesn't happen without our energy industry and our robust ag industry, right? All of the rural North Dakota, Richardton being a prime example, is funding things that are happening in our biggest cities all across the state. And in order to have those dollars to continue to do that and provide property tax relief, you really need a boost to these industries, don't you?
Sure. Yep, no doubt. And regarding property taxes, I think some of my concerns, as I've learned more about this, relate back to if we start buying out one class of property, and say an entire group of people is no longer paying anything. If there is truly a path to zero or something along those lines, I would be concerned for the agriculture and the commercial and the other classes out here that maybe end up footing more of the bill as residential maybe gets down to zero. I would be concerned that bond referendums and other things like that would have an easier chance of passing, and that'll be our egg producers and commercial that'll be left paying the bill.
Interesting take, and I know we just talked to Governor Armstrong about this. Sounds like he's open to some sort of relief in the farmland area as well, with as long as it doesn't come at the expense of the primary households, right? In that other category you're talking about. You think that that ultimately will be something that will get to the governor and will come out of your process?
I sure hope so. I think agriculture is definitely paying their fair share. We've got landowners that have property in districts in which they don't live, so they don't have a voice. I think that's partly my responsibility is to help them with that and stick up for them and say, they're footing the bill on a lot of the new schools and a lot of the new bonds out there. So I think they deserve a voice. I hope they get something out of this session. What that might be, I'm not sure. I also know that the egg producers they have some concerns with infrastructure as well. So if there's anything we can do to help rural roads and bridges and all the other things to help them get their market or their products to market, I think would be helpful.
Well, it's great having ranchers in the legislature, that's for sure. And in addition to that, obviously a business owner in the ag space. So good to meet you. Appreciate your time here. And we'll chat again as this session continues to go on. But it was a great opportunity to get to meet you and hear a little bit about what's important to folks in Richardson and the area in District 36. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Representative Ty Dressler represents from Richardson, represents District 36, a big part of rural North Dakota.